Okay, I think we are, in fact, live. That's nice. Okay, let's. Well, since someone's here, I'll just begin the stream. Okay, hi, Pudding Salsa. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. And let me just verify my audio is working for everybody. Okay, I think the microphone is working. I just got to figure out how to get the audio here. Let's try this. And let's turn on that music. I'm not sure if it's actually playing. Sound effects are on, right? Oh, I see. I don't have any. Okay, there we go. We have the synthwave music. And let me see if that's too loud. No, I think it's right. While I'm at it, let me add the. I have another special mix of music, so let me add that. Yeah, today's stream is to help people shopping. There has been an explosion of questions on Reddit, and I needed to make sure people get their answers. There's so much confusion out there, and I had nothing else to do this morning, so we're gonna do a live stream and do a normal hangout and chat. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I need to tell the Discord crew that I am online. Let me get a link to this stream. I am going to try to do a couple of streams between now and December 25th because I know so many people are shopping now. This last week is a huge time for people to buy tablets, of course. Live now. And there we go. And let me just do a little bit of cleanup of my browsers. I do have some news to share. A few extra pieces of equipment that I have incorporated into my setups. Really, this is about computers, not so much tablets. Some other projects I'm involved in that are tablet related. And miscellaneous news. That's weird. Let's see. Hey, Pleasing, nice to see you. Thanks very much for joining me on this surprise shopping stream. I am just trying to clean up a few things before I really kick it off. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, I'm ready. Actually, you know what? Let me get my water and I'll be right back. Pudding salsa, let's see. I've been watching your channel since the metal nib video, and honestly, you've helped me a lot. Thanks. Hey, thank you. I'm just here to make sure people, save money, have good experiences with their tablets, and they're not disappointed and don't break their things. And the metal nib video was one of my earliest experiments, and I need to actually redo that experiment. I think that it's very tempting to want to use a metal nib for sure. Very tempting. So I saw so many people using it, and some people have a really good experience with it, but I wanted to share what actually happened. The funny thing about the metal nib video is, in the entire experiment, I was answering a question on Reddit, and I told someone, here's why I think a metal nib might be a bad idea. And I was repeating what I would call, I guess, conventional wisdom, meaning I was repeating what other people had said. The conventional wisdom was that metal nibs would damage your tablet because they're hard and therefore don't wear down, and so they abrade the surface of the tablet. And someone asked me, honestly, this was a great question. They said, have you ever used one? And I said, well, no, I have never used one. So I got one and decided to do an experiment, and I was actually very surprised at the results. So the damage was not to the tablet. My experience was potentially identifying damage to the pen. So that was, I hope I saved people some frustration. Though again, some people have used metal nibs and said they found no problem. But I felt I had to get that data out there. Pluzzing says, I'm still kind of debating if I should get a display tablet or an iPad. I'll probably buy it next year or so. Okay. It's a tough choice for a lot of people. What the good news is that, these days we have good options, right, for either a tablet or an iPad. Hi, Mir. Thanks for joining us. I see people are posting A in the chat. I don't know if that means anything. Oh, I forgot, by the way, to get my country music. I'm trying to mix up the background music, so I actually have country music, licensed country music. We're going to try that in this stream, but I have to find it. Where is it? Because we're on my synthwave playlist for background music. I'm not sure it's really working out, to be quite honest. Gaumon S620. Hey, I ordered it. It is coming. I just realized I didn't shower today. It's too cold. Been home all day. Maybe just not quite. Well, it's okay. Maybe you can skip a day. Maybe skipping a day is not bad. Especially if it's getting to the weekend. Okay, where is my OneDrive documents? Oh, no. Yeah, documents. Sorry, I'm trying to get the music here. Where is it? Oh, I see. Oh, it's been a interesting, maybe frustrating week for me with computers. I'll tell you all about it. You ever spend money on something and you're like, it does one thing which is making you upset? That was my experience today. Or this week. Okay, almost there. We're gonna try setting up this country music playlist. Oh, I see. I gotta add. Almost. Now I got it. Sorry. I just want to get this done so I don't have to distract people in the rest of the stream. Streaming. Background. Okay. Okay. We're gonna forget the country music. It's just background music anyway. Looks like I didn't upload it. Let's see. Let's get the questions today. How's the local? I still haven't tried it, Mir. I still haven't tried it. Maybe I'll try it in the stream. How's that? Let me add that to my stream notes. I am totally happy to try things. That's the purpose of these streams. What was it called? Local scent. Okay. I am putting that in my notes for local scent. That's what we'll try in this stream. You buy a bundle of nibs. Yeah, that's what I found, Mir. The metal nib can damage the center of the pen. Pluzzing small. Yeah, I understand. Though I think for me, small tablets hurt my hand. Mir has fixed the static shock issue. That's good, Mir. That's very good that you fixed it. Would you say that a tablet cover is better than a metal nib? Well, at least risk-taking wise, buying nibs regularly is a bit. Getting the new Wacom TOS Pro. Let me make sure I understand, Pudding Salsa. The challenge with the nibs for you is that they're what? It's hard, like they're not available in your area. Sometimes there are supply problems, or is it that they're too costly? And I think that will help me understand a bit better. I'm not thinking of getting a metal nib after I use one for a while. I just bought it for my cheap tablet because it's cheaper to replace. It's cheaper to replace the tablet than buy more nibs? Whoa. So nibs are really expensive where you're at? Okay, you know what? This synthwave thing is too much. I'm going back to jazz. The synthwave stuff is just too distracting. Whatever I picked. There we go. There we go. A little less intense. I guess generic jazz is the way to go. Nondescript generic jazz. Okay, so on my notes I have local send. We'll try that out. I'll talk about my new computer purchase. I got a new computer. There's Forum MS02 Ultra. Mostly shipping fees. Got it. Those shipping fees have got to be really expensive if you're talking about something that's more than some tablets. That's crazy. Okay, so while I'm waiting for everything else to get set up, let me tell you my experience this week. So I bought a new mini PC from Minis Forum. It's pretty powerful. It definitely wasn't cheap. So it has 192 gigabytes of RAM. Okay. And I think it's got like 16 cores and 12 efficiency cores, something like that. And it can even have a discrete GPU, which I ordered a small form factor RTX 5060 for it. Because it's a mini PC, it's not big. I can bring it over here if you want. And as you can imagine, probably it did cost a little bit. And it works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It works perfectly fine. But I can hear the fan noise. And for me, it's an issue. Because I want really, really quiet things. And I was hoping this thing would not be... It's not loud. It is not loud. It's just, I can hear it. It's like, I'm always complaining about the Cintiq Pro 27 and Cintiq Pro 22 because I can hear their noise. And my environment is quiet. I like it quiet. You know, I play music and things, but I like the harmony of quiet. I like to choose if I have sound, and it makes some fan noise, and that's kind of disappointing. So I need to figure out what to do, how to use it. Because I could just put this in, I wouldn't hear anything, these AirPods, but it's a little disappointing because this was going to be my main machine. What I really want, to be quite honest, is to, you know, like a Mac Mini, these new Apple Silicon Macs, they are effectively silent. And I want that. And no Windows machine has given me that. Let's see. Pudding Salsa says, I live in the Middle East. If I buy nibs, I have to arrive from outside my country. So I'm going to take that to assume, Pudding Salsa, that Wacom, Huion, whichever brand you're using, there's no presence in your country. Everything has to be imported in. That's got to really be crazy in terms of price. How much it increases the price. So, because of the noise issue, I am considering. I'm friendly with. What's the right word? Hang on, I gotta figure out how to say this. I am very friendly to Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And right now, because I'm so obsessed with quiet, I am thinking about primarily going to Mac OS. Okay? Thinking about it. Again, driven by noise, not for any other reason, just noise. I also installed Zorin OS on one of my mini PCs. Actually, this one, which is old but quiet. It's a Minisform HX99G. And super impressed. Well, I will do a stream on Zorin OS. Let me write that down. Because I think a lot of people now are very interested in, because Windows 10 is, end of life. I think it is end of life, about to be end of life. So people are thinking about, maybe alternatives to Windows. Also, people are not really happy about these new hardware requirements, Windows 11 and Copilot. They're just not pleased. I struggle with Copilot myself, So I have a couple of PCs with, what do they call them? NPUs. And they just don't do much. In fact, I can't figure out what they're used for at all. Pudding Salsa says, for the mini PC you got, do you not have any software to control the fans? You can make them really silent when you're doing nothing. Okay, so let me be more clear about the fan issue, and then I'll directly answer what you're talking about. Number one is, so there's two elements that are irritating. First of all, that I hear anything is just irritating, okay? Number two, I could probably tolerate some amount of noise if it was constant, okay? But the sound is variable. So in other words, you have to understand, this machine is essentially idling. I am doing nothing but just opening up system settings. Maybe I'm browsing a web page and I can hear the fan go from a light sound to a heavy. I can hear it. I can really hear it spin up. I'm like, why are you spinning up? You're at literally the number I saw yesterday, you're at 1.6% utilization. Like, what is causing the fan to go on? Okay, so that's part 3. Part 4 is, in the BIOS, there does seem to be, these are in performance modes, but I've tried them. They don't seem to have any effect on the fan. There may be some settings I'm missing. I will search for them. Because again, I would prefer just having a constant sound to one that's super variable. Because I hate the sound of spinning up. Because it spins up, So I will check. And so that is very irritating. That is very irritating. Yeah, because again, I'm not really a heavy user, right? I'm not. I'm. I think I use Clip Studio Paint. I don't use 3D apps. I'm not intending to game on this. This is really a machine that was intended to be small and out of the way, and something that would be powerful enough. I did want the NPU and the extra memory just for doing some LLM AI stuff, but it wasn't meant to be like a powerhouse that I'd be like, playing 4K gaming, right? Yeah, it's very distracting putting salsa. It's very distracting. I'm a big believer in harmony, and I mean harmony in the generic sense of I have my environment and it's supposed to be harmonious. It's supposed to keep me free of distraction so I can focus on what I want to focus on, whether that be relaxing or listening to music or, streaming or writing code or whatever. So when things hit me that are disharmonious, it really affects me. I know, first world problems, right? Okay, let me just do a few more cleanups here. I'm going to also open up a second chat window so I can see it. I have two PCs, remember? So I don't know. I'm very torn up about this entire Windows thing because let me explain what I mean. I was hoping these ARM processors would be super quiet and powerful. They're neither. Okay? They are quieter. They are more efficient, but they're not super they're not close to Apple Silicon. And right now I'm very pessimistic that we're going to see anything that's close to Apple Silicon. Does that make sense? Pleasing says, honestly, I sometimes get annoyed with my laptop fan sound. I get it. So yeah, it just gets very confusing. Okay, I'm going to do one more change here, which you can't see because it's on my other machine, but hang on. I'm just going to close some apps and unduplicate a display. There we go. Keep changes. Whoops. Okay. And then I gotta go here. Screen layout. Oh, but I have to reboot my oh gosh. Apply. Sorry, I gotta change my my window layout a little bit. To 50%. And then this is apply. Okay. It's almost working there. Okay, I think they did that, which met with limited success, and then save it. No. Yeah, now I have 3 monitors I can use for doing things. And let's close this window. Okay, let's see. Lawsbred Art, good to see you. Pleasing, I don't know. It sounds pretty irritating for me. I always fools me to think my laptop is burning. Yeah, sometimes things get hot. You can smell it. Windows 11 has a lot of load for no reason. I switched to Linux and my RAM usage dropped significantly while idling. My Windows install used 80% of my 16 gig always used. Well, to be fair, Pudding Salsa, here's what I have been told, and I think I'm not an expert in this specific topic, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And this is what I heard at work, and work for me is, or was, Microsoft. Okay, so this is what I heard. Number one, in the olden days, when Windows said, hey, it used so much RAM, you could kind of intuitively understand what it meant. But over years, and maybe even like it wasn't even clear then, but over the years, how Windows uses RAM has changed. And I have been told that, at least at one point in the years, I was told what it says it's using is not the best. It doesn't correspond to our notion of how much RAM is actually being used. And I'll tell you the theory behind that. Now, I think that's still true. I think it's still not hard to predict or understand, to map our notion of how much RAM is used to what it's actually using. So I'd have to read up on that, but that's the overall issue. And you know what? This machine needs to get rebooted, so I'm going to just do that. Restart. Okay. Let's see. Slime Docs, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Jaffo, thanks for joining us. Always good to see you. And then I'll take a look at what questions people have and what's going on Reddit. Yeah, it's just a chill stream. We can do whatever. I just wanted to make sure people got an opportunity to ask questions because so many people are confused. I mean, on Reddit. Everyone's exploding on Reddit this morning or this week. So the tablet I have in front of me, which my computer's rebooting, is the Canvas 24 Gen 3. I haven't used it much since the stream, actually, but I will be using it a little bit more this weekend. I've been writing up my notes for the MovingPad Pro 14, so I'll probably try to make a video this weekend about it. Still loving it. Yeah, so now let me tell you the theory, putting salsa about the Windows memory usage. Basically, the theory goes something like this. Would you rather, imagine that there's going to be some amount of unused memory. Let's just say you have 120 gigabytes or whatever. Your computer could sort of use as little as possible, and that would work, right? But wouldn't you prefer it if it was using, like if you weren't using it, if you weren't actively using it, it would be better for the operating system to use it to do something, like cache something so that switching between apps or loading an app was faster. So that's the theory. Now, the details of how this actually works in Windows is beyond me because I was never in that the Windows team in that way. How has my experience been with the Canvas Pro 19? I received mine. Everything works amazingly well compared to Reddit opinions so far. Yeah, it's been working great for me. The only thing that has not been great, which I think is known, is Touch is great on Windows because Windows is good with Touch. It's built into the OS. But Touch on Mac OS is, it's still in beta support. And even I tried there's a firmware for it. I tried a couple of months ago for the tablet that would enable it for Mac OS. I tried it, still couldn't get Mac OS Touch to work. So that's probably one area where it's not great. But what I hear anyway is that Mac OS Touch support isn't great anyway. So even if that firmware update did work, then it wouldn't be a great experience compared to Windows. But yeah, I've really liked the Canvas 19 Pro. My only other thing about it has nothing to do with any flaw of the device. It's a preference. I like tablets, pen displays that are just a little bit bigger. So I often say, okay, so 19 is between 16 and 22. Okay, so 19 is right in the middle. I say that a 19-inch pen display feels more like a 16-inch than it does a 22, and I like a 22-inch size. So if I could, I would like a Canvas Pro 22. Now in front of me I have the Canvas Pro 24. That just feels much bigger to me than a 22. Okay. Slime Duck says, yeah, I've read it, bricked some devices. Yeah, that's awful. I mean, like, I didn't have that experience. I don't think I've read a bricked experience, but, you know, it's never a good feeling if that's what's happening. Okay, I rebooted, and now things are kind of working, I guess. Hang on a second. I gotta figure out where. Koyo, oh, thanks for joining, Koyo. About the RAM usage, it's better for computer to use RAM as cache to prolong the life of SSD. Okay, so there's a good example, right? Like, would you not prefer that? I mean, if you weren't using it, would you not prefer that the Windows does something useful with it? If it didn't affect you in any other way, why not, right? So while I'm at it, I'll teach you something. I'll share an experience rather about something I did at Microsoft. And again, it's philosophical. So I was part of a team that built a very large compute and storage infrastructure. Okay. Now in Microsoft, that is called Cosmos. It's actually an internal thing, but there are papers about it, so it's not secret. And Cosmos stores like exabytes of data. Okay. And it's a system that has a lot of, SSDs, and it has a lot of cores, a lot of CPUs. And you have to understand it costs money. I can't tell you how much money. It costs a lot of money just to keep those machines powered and cooled. Okay. And obviously they have to be just on, right? So let's suppose I'm making up a number. The number is much bigger than this. So just pretend you have a cluster of 50,000 machines, okay? And the 50,000 machines, they're doing something. They're storing files. They're like doing processing data, whatever. Our philosophy was we wanted every CPU core busy. We wanted at 95% utilization, right? Because it had to be on anyway using power. Why not make it do something useful? So we wanted to keep the machines busy, right? We didn't want to see much slack in the system. That was it. Again, it's just a perspective. I'm not saying it's right in all situations, but I wanted to share that. That's why I'm kind of okay with the way Windows does maybe doing its RAM usage. Okay, Slime Docs. Don't worry, I have got an answer for you, actually. I've got an answer for you, so give me a second. Let me open up the chat in my other machine, and I will give you a full answer, okay? 1 second. One second. Oh, where is my Git book? So I have in my site, and I guess I can just show you this. It's a little bit easier. So in my site, I actually have a page called, or a section, I think called maintaining. There's especially a page called cleaning a drawing tablet. And Slime Docs, it actually covers this topic quite specifically. Let me paste. Okay. So it tells you, the manufacturers have guidance, and then I have my guidance, what I do. They're just some things you should avoid. Okay. And here's I'll tell exactly how I clean my pen tablets and pen displays. Okay. So if you have questions, ask them in the stream or join the Discord, which let me paste the link to the Discord, of course. Let's see. So Slime Docs, I think that'll answer your questions. Okay, and let me just do one more thing, which is get my comments popped out here. There we go. Got my comments here. Okay. Let's see. And I'll put the comments here. Okay. Do you think, sorry, let me go backwards. I've been thinking about getting a new screenless tablet and upgrading from my One by Wacom. Is the Wacom Intuos Pro 2025 a good option? It is, I think so. I think it is a good option. It is my recommended tablet to get right now for a Wacom. Absolutely. It's in the professional category. Absolutely. But understand why people don't like it, because it's very polarizing. Some people don't like the small bezels. I don't mind. I've adjusted to it pretty quickly. Some people do not like the Pro Pen 3 for various reasons. Some people don't like where the buttons are placed. I still think it's a better thing to get than the Intuos Pro 2017, because I think the 2017 will, by the end of this decade, 2030, you'll see support drop for it. That's 5 years though, okay? And it could be a little bit sooner, but I think that's when people have the most problem. So either the 2025, which is what I'd recommend, or if you're tolerant to some risk, the 2017 model. And as for size, always go for medium. Always go for medium. If you're drawing, absolutely go for medium. Don't go for large because it's too much for most people. Small will end up cramping the hands of most people. And I just think it's medium is the best size for the vast majority of people. Medium is about 11 inches in diagonal size. Arthur Sharma, do you think I should switch from a pen tablet to one with a screen? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. There are many reasons why it is better for you to stick with, and I'll show it to you. Let me find the page. Everything I've got on my, I try to write everything up. Let me get here. Pen displays, pen tablets, sorry. Pen tablets versus pen displays right here. So I wrote extensively about this. I do need to make a video on this. So I'm gonna just paste that in the chat for you. Okay, take a look at that. In short, it depends. And they have their pros and cons. I just want to make sure you understand what the pros and cons are. Now, you raised an interesting thing in your question. You go, should you switch? I think it can be dangerous to switch because the experience is very different. Because switching implies you're not going to use the old one, okay? And there's no reason to not use the old one. You might as well use two of them at the same time. That's also a possibility. If you can, I would say try, if you have a friend or school somewhere, try using one first for a couple of hours. Like actually draw something. Don't just play with it. Draw something and see, because there's so many factors that affect it, like the size, how you're sitting in front of it. With pen tablets, basically, almost everyone just puts the pen tablet on the desk. With a pen display, some people have them on stands, some of them have arms, sometimes they're flat, sometimes at an angle on legs. There's lots of factors that affect how much you're going to like it. I have an XP Pen Star 03 V2. I was thinking to upgrade to Artist 12 Pro. It might work out for you. It might work out for you. But yeah, try it. Try one first, honestly. Hey, Pudding Salsa, thanks for joining us. It's been terrific chatting. And yeah, anytime you have questions, ask here in the stream or ask in the Discord. Okay. So while we're here, I mentioned so many things are going on Reddit. So let me get there. And let's see what are people talking about. And let me start my show notes because I do want to make sure I get... Where are my show notes? Oh, not here. Okay. Show notes. There we go. Pleasing says, honestly, I'm planning to get a display or iPad out of curiosity. It's worth, if you can afford to get one out of curiosity and play around with it, do it. Nothing wrong with it. Let me add a page. Oh, this is zoomed in too much, isn't it? Let's move this page up. Why does it keep... There's one thing I hate about the way OneNote works is that when you add a page, it just adds it not at the top and not at the bottom. It adds it somewhere else, which is hard to deal with. You can even see me struggling. I'm having to create the page and move it up. And I'm having trouble even moving it up. What is going on here? Try this again. I lost the insertion. It's just not doing it. That is wild. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add a new section here. New. There we go. 12, 19. Okay. So I'm going to try local send maybe a bit later. I talked about my Minus forum. What was it? MS02 Ultra. And the fan noise. I will investigate how to change that any settings. Getting a display tablet is kind of risky to me, I think, because my current tablet is not 1 year yet. Got it. Okay. I also... Wonkle. I want to talk about Wonkle. I've mentioned this before, but there's a project to create a gaming drawing tablet. Okay, let me just show it to you. I'll start at their GitHub. There's actually a website, so let's get to the website. Wonkle. Was it Wonkle? There we go. I think Wonkle. What is this? Tablets. Ah, here. I found my own link. There's actually a website here. Let me get there. I think it's wonkle.io. Nope, not that. Where is that website? Okay, yeah. Here we go. Docs.wonkle.io. Okay. It's under docs. Okay. So let me just paste this here. So yeah, this is a new tablet that's sort of being developed from the open source community. Now it's for, as you can see, gamers. Okay. I am slightly involved in this project. I'll tell you how in just a second. I certainly did not originate this. But it is somebody who goes by the name Pomp. Worked on, I guess, a prototype of or at least a design, but I think there's actually a prototype of a Hall effect sensor tablet, which I think for people thought was not possible for a drawing tablet. But for gaming, maybe it's possible. And then I think he's also planning on developing a normal EMR drawing tablet. No, sorry, I said drawing tablet, but it's a tablet for gaming, and I just want to emphasize that. So I found this project. I'd known about it for a couple of months, and I volunteered to help with some documentation, at least, right? because I do write a lot about tablets. Uh, and so, yeah, I've just been working on the FAQ actually this week, right? So about 3 or 4 of these questions came from me. So for example, we're trying to figure out what tablets are going to be released, polling rate, which for us means report rate. So if you're an OSU player, this in 2026, there might be an option for you to get a tablet that uses either the Hall effect or EMR and gives you, look at the polling rates, meaning report rate right here. Let me show it. 8,000 hertz, 1,000 hertz. Now, compare this to what we see with a Wacom tablet. It's 200 hertz. Okay. Now, will 800 hertz help you? The theory is yes, or sorry, 8,000. Can your computer handle it? I don't know. We'll see. But this is the idea. So I'm really excited about being, at least from my part, helping out this project. I told Pomp, my background is in distributed computing, so I don't think I can really help them technically. But I do write a lot about drawing tablets. So I said, hey, let me at least help out with the docs if I can. And if they have other needs like, release management, project management, if you ever need someone to run a meeting, I'm extremely good at running meetings, by the way, and keeping people on schedule. Let's see. Adventurines. Do you think I should grab the Huion Canvas 16 Gen 3 or the Huion Canvas 13 Gen 3? Do you think the price difference is worth to grab the 16? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, it's a good price. Of course, I wish it was even less. It's a good price for a 16-inch. It looks like it's a little discounted at $350. But yeah, get it. It's the 16 is worth getting. The 16 is worth getting. And just so you know, let me find my notes on the 16 Gen 3. Uh, 16 Gen 3, and I'll paste them in the comments. Worth it to get 16 Gen 3. I think that extra size makes a big difference. I think it really does. What else? Oh, if anyone's, I would like your feedback on something. I am writing up my notes for the MovingPad Pro 14. And there are some, edits I still need to make, but I wanted to share this with you in case anyone had feedback. Actually, before I share the link, let me modify the link if I can. Oh, and let me send you this link to this the Wonkel tablet. Control-C. Paste that in chat. I think it's important that you at least be aware of this project. Could be significant. We'll see. What did I want to do? I want to talk about the... Oh, yeah. I want to edit, do one edit before I share the link of the MovingPad Pro 14. Let's edit this. And I just want this to say, I think this should say Wacom here and not just MovingPad. And then this should say Wacom ETH A140 notes. There we go. I like to have better URLs for things. While I'm at it, I'm going to fix a couple of these little items here. Let me send you the link. Okay, this is a little bit better. So I just added the MovingPad Pro 14 notes. And while I'm at it, I'm going to make a few edits here. Still, what is this doing? Okay. Every day I edit my doc site a lot. Though I have to admit sometimes I'm a little lax with putting in commit descriptions. There we go. Put this here. This week has been a lot of table of contents editing, revising documents. So let's get this cleaned up here. If anyone's curious, I use Gitbook for publishing all my docs, which I really like. Though I'm on a legacy plan because their current plans don't meet my needs or they're super expensive. Which is a tragedy. There we go. Okay, it's a bit cleaner. Let's merge those. Yeah, so I got that done. And I think, you know, let me just show you what I wrote there because I think it's important to talk about. Yeah, here we go. And I mean this in all sincerity. Alt. Yeah, okay. First of all, the tablet is excellent. The MovingPad Pro 14, it's an excellent tablet. Of course, things change over time. So let me just say this right now. As of 2025, December 2025, 100%, this is the best standalone tablet you can get in terms of drawing experience, okay? It's not gonna replace a Windows laptop if that's what you're using, but if you just wanna draw, this is the one to get. This is the one to get. And it's a decent Android tablet. It is missing some features. But the thing I want to talk about maybe in the stream is why I think, oh, Drinkwater, thanks for joining us. By the way, the Intuos Pro 4 I got 4 months ago, serving me good. I think it's a really end game pen tab. Yeah, it is. It is. As long as you have the drivers, Open Tablet Driver or whatever, working for it, it's absolutely a fantastic tablet to have. I have, and in fact, this year I want to spend some extended time with some older tablets like the Intuos 3, which is a tablet. When it was out, I was not a huge fan of. I didn't like the new styling. Now I like the styling. So I'd like to go back to it and sort of reassess what I think. Oh yeah, so why is the Wacom MovingPad Pro relevant? Why is it important? Not the 4? Oh, sorry. Dinkroder, when you said 4 months ago, and I conflated 4 months with Intuos 4. Hey, it's Martin Nizio. Thanks for joining us. So why is the MovingPad Pro 14 important? And this has nothing to do with tech per se. It's because until the MovingPad Pro 14 came, when there was a tablet for drawing, a drawing tablet that was standalone, I always had this, I always felt weird talking about it because basically either the drawing experience was, in my opinion, weird, like the Apple iPad with its Apple Pencil. It feels very different from a normal drawing tablet, so that was weird. And then, or the drawing experience was not great. Perfect example, Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra uses an S Pen. S Pen is a consumer grade pen. It's not great. Okay? what are other options? There was the XP Pen Magic Drawing Pad 2025, and that came close to being great. It's actually very good, except the tilt is awful. Okay, the tilt is just terrible. If the tilt was fixed, it would probably be almost at the same level as the Wacom Moving Pad Pro. To be honest, to be completely honest, or at least the Moving Pad 11. But speaking of the Moving Pad 11, it's a little underpowered. Let's be honest, it's a little underpowered. Okay, it's $450. I'm not expecting it to be super powered, but I was expecting maybe a little bit better. But with the Moving Pad 11, the performance is good. The screen is good. It has the best drawing experience you can have. So now we have a standard. Like, then anybody who releases a drawing tablet or a tablet that's capable of drawing, that's pen enabled, the question is, that we should have always for those people is, those manufacturers or anyone reviewing a tablet is, how does that tablet compare against the Moving Pad Pro 14? At least in terms of drawing. Because if you can compare it that way, then it's just a marvelous reference for us. So that's why I like it so much. It's a useful tool for us. A standard. If something's better than it, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it inspires XP Pen and Huion to make something better, right? That's why The other thing I wanted to point out about the Moving Pad Pro 14, just as like the Moving Pad 11, I think you should treat this tablet as dedicated for drawing. I don't think you should treat it as a random standalone tablet that's going to replace your Samsung S11. Now, it might be able to, but it really isn't for that, right? Because it's missing some things, or it doesn't have some things you need. The speakers are not great. It doesn't have face unlock. It doesn't have thumbprint unlock. The pen is expensive also, right? It's $130 to replace. Or what's the other thing? It doesn't have DisplayPort out. It doesn't have DisplayPort in. I think those features are needed. I don't think these features are needed, especially DisplayPort out and DisplayPort in are very, opposite features, but you need them for this tablet to have a lot of value. And I can't wait to see the next version of the Wacom Moving Pad Pro. Here are the actual features, I think, there's one other big glaring thing it's missing, which is, or two things. The USB-C port is a USB 2.0 port. It needs a USB 4.0 port. And then it needs compatibility with Pro Pen 2, honestly. Mir, what do you think of using a 16:10 tablet with a 16:10 monitor? I think that's a great idea. Why wouldn't one want to do that? However, having said that, most tablets really, a lot of them are around 16:10, so that makes sense. But I don't think you have to. I think it's fine to use a 16:9 with 16:10. I don't even think you'll notice the difference, right? As long as you turn on force proportions. As long as you do that. Okay, I need to get some more water, so I'll be right back in just a minute. Okay, I am back. And for some reason, the music stopped. At least for me, it did. Let's, no, for you it is playing, right? Why did it stop for me? Let's reconnect to my ears. My voice is really a little bit scratchy this morning. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not hydrated enough. Okay, thanks for your patience. Mir says, why even make 16 by 10 pen tablets? It's a little inconvenient and a waste of space as well. I don't exactly know. I will say this, 16 by 10 seems to be very, it isn't random. It seems like 16 by 10 was a very popular display size for a while, at least in certain industries, and that's why I was told drawing tablets tend to have that size for some period of time. What's weird is Wacom, like for the Wacom Intuos Pro 2017 models, the small one is 16 by 10. The other two are like somewhat off, actually. So you need forced proportions for them. It's so weird that they have different aspect ratios. Yeah, that's a real problem. You point out a real problem here because it just feels so weird. To be fair, the latest Wacom drivers, Wacom Center, its wizard, it's getting started wizard or whatever they call it, does seem to encourage people to use forced proportions. But it is, so that's a step forward. But they could do a better job. Like, I think a driver should be should hit this topic in multiple ways. Number one, there should be a training video. Number two, the driver should have a wizard, which the Wacom Center does have one. Number three, the driver should, if you open the driver, should warn you, hey, you're not drawing correctly. Number four, the driver in the UI, like in Windows, in the, here, let me show you. This thing, what do you call this? The system tray. Like, let's find a driver here. Okay, so we see something here. We see this thing, whatever it is, Synergy 3. Or this is even a better example. AMD has a little, there's a little tiny asterisk there. Let me click on it. Indicating something, it needs something. Some attention. And when you open it up, it should say, hey, you're not drawing correctly, turn on forced proportions. I don't know why they do it. I just do not know. Because I think it's one of the most important. That is a video I need to make. So I'm going to put that as a show note, as a follow-up, because people will be confused starting next week. Follow-up. Forced proportions. I have a longer explanation of forced proportions, which is very technical, but I want one that's more like I teach the theory behind it and statistics, but I think I need one that's more oriented toward just people getting started. I went and got water, but then I also got coffee, as if water was not going to satisfy me enough. I agree, Mir. I 100% agree. It should be enabled by default. I have no hesitation agreeing with you there. Okay, give me 1 second. I got to check something. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go now back to Reddit because I want to see what else people are struggling with. We'll go to Wacom first. Oh, please, everyone, fill out the survey. I'm gonna copy the link address and paste it. Fill out survey, fill out this survey. Pluzzing. Also, when it comes to iPad, I wonder if getting the Pro Pencil is worth it. Or they tend to have more wobble, blob, degrading battery. Definitely some people experience the blobbing. Wobble, I think lots of people don't experience it unless you're looking for it. Degrading battery, I've experienced. So I don't know. And also the pencil just feels weird. In fact, I've got a page for everything, right? I have a page about the Apple Pencil, so I'm going to share that with you, Pluzzing. Oh, Apple Pencil. Let me turn on the table of contents. I have some notes about it. So in these notes, I have a section called, what people think about it and how it compares to normal drawing tablet pens, like no nib, eraser. So, Pluzzing, maybe I'd love your comments on this. Mir says, I think you should make a Gentz style with a shocked face on your thumbnail with the truth behind not being able to draw. No, you know what? I actually kind of agree with you, Mir, because if I just show a bunch of text saying force proportions, no one's going to click on it. I mean, this audience might, but it's not going to catch any attention. I need something like click big titles, right? Like what's one? Oh yeah. What this is too complicated to say. What this driver setting does will amaze you. How about that? Or Wacom does not want you to know this one weird trick. Okay. Can you think of any others like that? Slimebox. Okay, so I'm going to give you my standard answer to this question on scratches. First of all, the Canvas Pro 19 is not prone to scratching. There's a video by a guy named David Ravoy. He actually tries with a pen, a knife and keys to scratch it. It's just, and he can't really do it with any normal amount of force. Now, is it possible? I'm sure it is, because it is just glass after all. But I would say this. I don't use screen protectors on my tablets, okay? I don't. I have never scratched one up. I've definitely seen many people who, I don't know, I think they were moving their Canvas Pro 19 and something, maybe a zipper on their jacket or some sharp edge caught it, and they've actually scratched it. Not even with the pen, something else. So it does happen. I don't know how it happens, but it happens. If you are concerned about it, if you're just worried or you just want to protect your investment, 100% I would recommend, if you're stressing your mind out or you're worried, get a screen protector. Get a screen protector if you're worried about it, okay? Oh, Mir says, since you have so many tablets, do a $1 tablet versus 10,000 with doing a side eye. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that, Mir. I like that comment. Let me save that in my show notes. That's actually an interesting suggestion. Cami Luna, thanks for joining us. My Galaxy Book 360 has one tiny scratch, but my pen displays never got scratched. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Some people never get their pen displays scratched. I'm one of those people. Other people, you can go on eBay and see tons of people that have pen displays that are scratched. There's all sorts of theories we have about why they get scratched. One is just weird interactions with other sharp edges, metallic dust. Environments that have a lot of metallic dust. Some people say that's prone to scratching even etched glass. Mir says, you won't believe what this tablet can do. Yeah. You got. I mean, I guess you have to be a little viral. Who? Okay, my last question. What is the most? Whose person? Sorry, what person can I name that would? I mean, has nothing to do with tablets. That would cause someone to click. Like. Look, I don't want to. I know the name's gonna get the ire of people, but you know, I'm sure if I wanted to get attention, I would just put Trump in the title, and that would get people to click on it. Trump or Sydney Sweeney. That would probably get people's attention as well. I wouldn't name other people, but unfortunately I don't follow a lot of popular music. So I don't know anyone who's really in the news besides political stuff. Let's see, my Cintiq Companion got nicked when I took it to work and mail supply. Okay, yeah. So my Movink got scratched that way. I don't know what, because the Movink has like some coding. I just put something on it, like another tablet, and then I took it off and I saw a little scratch. I'm like, that's why I baby my Movink much more now. Or if you have a tablet that you changed your mind on. I like that. Yeah. That's like some good suggestions, man. Let me capture that in my show notes. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong button. Was it change your mind on? I was wrong about this tablet. Okay, back to let's see what else people are struggling with. I have a CTL 472. I lost my pen. Looks like somebody already answered. Well, I updated this AutoMod answer, but I'm going to go ahead and paste. Wacom pen compatibility. See this. I just finished reading it twice about Apple Pencil. I probably need to test it again on the Apple Store, and I'm pretty scared. I know. I'm nervous about it. That's one reason. Well, with Apple Pencil, it's more complicated, so there are more issues. With EMR pens, they're more delicate, I think. Right? Cam was at work, but off the receiving end of phones for about an hour. So, okay, thanks, Cam. It's always great when you can, even if you can listen in. Unless my brightest idea told me to just use my Deco Pro instead. Nothing wrong with using a non-Wacom tablet. Nothing wrong with that. So someone last night asked about initial activation force, and I just sent them a link to my docs. Again, Wacom still has the lowest IAF for certain pens. I think the Gen 1, I don't like the Gen 1 pencil once I tried the Gen 2 pencil pluzzing, but it worked fine, But it's definitely even more different than an EMR pen than the Gen 2, I think. Okay, this person needs a driver. Let's see these. Looks like that was solved by Wacom support. Slime Doc says, I have ever had a chance to replace a Huion pen because it broke or something with a nib rule. Yeah, I've had great success with Huion pens. Actually, let me be clear. With all the pens I've had, they've all worked. They've never broken. In fact, the only pens that have broken for me, you gotta pause and just absorb it, and then I'll explain. The only pens that have actually broken for me have been Wacom pens. Now, that sounds weird, but let me explain. Remember, I have a 30-year history of using Wacom. So one of those pens broke before the company called Huion existed, okay? And one pen broke because I stepped on it and it cracked it in two. The other pen just, again, it's a 20-year-old pen, or I don't know. It's from 2013, okay? So 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it had a problem. So that was like 10 years. So, you know, and I have like 70 something Wacom pens. So it's not that these pens are prone to break, but you have to be careful with them. You can't fling them. You know, let me give you an example of something people do. I don't know why they do this. Someone had like, I'm just gonna pretend this is like some device, and there was like a little, what the hell is this? Oh, a nib is stuck in here. That's fantastic. Someone had like a little, I don't know, something they need to push down in this thing, like a little, like I don't know, something. And instead of getting like a small piece of metal, they used their pen to push, like as if it was a screwdriver. And they broke their pen. And I'm like, I can understand they didn't realize their pens were sensitive, delicate, but you gotta be careful with these pens. I think you should see my last comment. There's a lack of tablet news channel. There's of course Tio's post about tablets and your live streams. Yeah, I agree. I used to do videos called, not live streams, actual videos called tablet news. I actually did one last year, one time, and then I switched to live streams because live stream doesn't require much prep, obviously, compared to an actual video. I don't know. I have a couple of choices. I could do live streams more. I could do specific news updates, but I like the idea of doing an actual like pre-record, right? Pleasing, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. No worries about the grammar, Slimebox. No worries. Let's see. Is touch supposed... I'm going to read this. I don't know how to answer, but I'm going to just read it. Is touch supposed to work on Mac OS? I'm connecting my Mobile Studio Pro, which I do not have, to my MacBook Air. I'm just going to upload this and approve it. I don't know if this is actually I know enough to do it. This person I answered already. Actually, well, I want to look at Wacom, not you. Let's see, we have a new Toucan this year. Just one more tablet. I know that feeling. In the last 3 weeks, I bought 3 tablets. 2 Gaumons and the Huion Canvas 24 Gen 3. Which puts me at like something like 106, 107 tablets. This person reset their Wacom tablet and drawing feels horrible. I would say, what's he got? He's got an 2S Pro. I'm gonna guess first. Okay, I think the number one reason is probably honestly force proportions. For the elongation. This will fix it. And then for the weird feeling, check your pressure curves. There's benefits to both formats. Pre-recorded videos get straight to the point, 20 minutes or less, while Insta live streams. Yeah, it's totally true. I like the interactivity because, like, with a pre-recorded video, it is incredibly difficult to understand how people are going to react. And I'll be honest with you, I wish I could pre-record something. Like, many of my videos are like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If you see a 20-minute video from me, I have recorded myself on the order of 2 hours total. Like multiple takes and retakes. And that's just my voice. Imagine if I was recording my face, which requires even more editing. So it's a lot of effort for pre-record, right? And then I have to review it with people. So for example, when I do a pre-record, I usually paste the draft video on the Discord and ask people to have comments. And they'll have comments, and I'll have to decide, should I edit the video, re-record it, or just cover it as a separate video? But sometimes that is the best way, But live streams are more flexible. And there's no practical way to take a live stream and make it a pre-record, because the entire vibe is different, I've thought about it, like getting snippets from my live streams, but it doesn't make sense for the content I have. Will you make a video called "This is better than Wacom and the iPad," and in the video review $1 pencil? I will do a pencil and paper video in 2026. I will absolutely do that. I don't think I'd use that kind of title, Mir. So I'd say 2026 we'll do a pen and paper video. Maybe I'll do a pre-record. Yeah, that's. Toucan, you mean please do this? You mean for the pen and paper? I have a great idea. I love these ideas, Mir. Keep them up. Make a clip channel where you put the question in the title and the clip your. I like this idea. Let me tell you why I like it. Again, a 20-minute video is a 2-hour video for me. Like more than that, right? You would not believe that's just the recording time. The script editing time is another, like a 20-minute video is at least a week or two of work for me. I mean, like multiple hours a day, right? As if I was working a part-time job. And I've been thinking about how to produce content that's faster to the point, right? Forced Proportions is a great example. You don't need me to talk for 20 minutes. You can probably get the idea in about 30 seconds. And so many of these little questions come up. I think I love this idea, Mir. Okay, I'm going to do that. I will absolutely do that. And I'll find some things soon. I'm talking about in the next week to try that with. Maybe Forced Proportions. Sorry, I'm burping. Maybe Forced Proportions is one. I love that idea. I love that idea. Now, let me ask a question. Should I leave it as a normal video, or should I use a YouTube short? I've never used a short before, but I'm really curious. I can't figure out if people like shorts or hate them. But yeah, like I'll give you an example of, like, I don't know, a question in the title and a clip answering is what size to get. I could go for an hour on what size to get, and I think I could make a literal 60-second video. Maybe a couple of minutes, right? But let's say 60 seconds that hit the key points. Pen tablet, get a medium. If you want a large, that's really for like specialized people, artists. Small, good for mouse replacement, right? Or maybe a kid, small child. I shouldn't say kid. That sounds so bad. Small child. Or maybe just photo editing. Like I could say that, right, in just a couple of minutes, and like people would get it. Cami Luna says, I have a love-hate relationship with shorts, but that's today's trends since recent generations have shorter attention spans than goldfish. It's true. It's true. It's affected me too, Cami Luna. Look, I'm in my mid-50s, and I can't even fathom what I used to do, right? Like, okay, let me give you a concrete example that isn't anything like wild. On Sundays, as a teenager, there was nothing to do in West Virginia, in my town. So I would watch Sunday movies on like Turner Classic Movies or Cinemax. There's all sorts. I watched a ton of amazing movies on Sundays on Cinemax and HBO and Showtime. And these days, I cannot watch a movie. I cannot sit down for an hour and a half and watch something. I have to watch it over days. Like I can only deal with it in like 20 or 30 minute chunks. Okay. So my attention to like sit down, and that's a movie, which is, blasting you with audio and video. I could never listen to I just can't do it. Audiobooks are about the only thing I can do, and that's when I'm driving, right? More 7 lore, yes. Jaugi, nice to see you. Here's my deal. This April Fool's videos. I don't like making April Fool's content. And let me tell you why. This goes back to me at Microsoft, okay? And remember, I'm starting a new channel, by the way, focused on communication. So this is actually bleed into a video I want to do about using humor, okay? So April Fool's jokes are humor, right? They're a kind of humor you can have. And more broadly speaking, you have to be really careful about using humor, okay? First of all, not everyone's in on the joke. Meaning, April Fool's is not a concept everyone knows about, so, they just might not find it amusing or funny at all. They may, some people might even feel deceived. Has there ever been an April Fool's joke that someone played on me that I thought, oh my God, I was so excited? And then I was like, oh, my disappointment was so bad. I would never want to call someone disappointment like that. The second thing, another reason I avoid that kind of humor is I don't want people to question, like, if I'm joking, you will know I'm joking. Like, it'll be very obvious from my tone of voice. And I will always, if I'm joking with somebody, like I'm saying something that's not true, but I will immediately tell them what I just said was a joke. It's a lie. Like I did not, it's just a falseness. In Microsoft, you can't be jokey a lot of things. Like it just causes problems, right? Lots of misunderstandings, maybe hurt feelings. So I think I try to avoid it. Now, I'm not saying everyone should do that. I'm just telling you my perspective, right? Recommendation number 1, Julian Slate, never. Never will I recommend any USI stylus, ever. You probably already know about the 8,000 hertz tablet video from Ed. Yeah, Tukan, I think you joined the stream later. That's the Wonka project, which I actually have the screen up here. I've actually volunteered my help with the project, at least to help them with their documentation. So actually, if you take a look at the FAQ, this week, actually some of these questions, like this one, I actually added this question, and this FAQ as well, right? And this one. So like, my background's in distributed computing, not drawing tablets. So I told Pomp, who's the lead for this project, let me help you out here. And if you need, I can do project management, release management, reviewing contracts, things like that, reviewing customer-facing things or marketing materials. So I just want to help the project out as much as I can, right? In the way that I can, because that Discord server is just packed full of people who have a lot of technical knowledge. So if we're lucky, in 2026, we'll see a brand new tablet. Now again, I have to sort this out and ask Pomp and the crew. I don't think the tablets will support pressure, so it's not a drawing tablet. It's for gaming. Wonkel is a good name, Toucan. Wonkel is a very good name. Absolutely. Let's see. Cami Luna, I'm the same. I think on Christmas in my teenhood, I used to be able to watch Christmas Story maybe twice every 24 marathon. Now every time. Yeah. I can't do it. And it's funny because I consider myself not a movie snob, but I just love movies. I love movies, right? But I just can't focus anymore on these kind of events, right? And I do blame, I blame myself, but we're used to a lot of things coming at us real fast, right? I'll give you another example, which is, now it's politically related, but no matter which side you're on, you'll understand what I'm saying. It has to deal with President Trump. And it has to deal with President Biden as well. It's both of them. Like, when President Biden took office, things kind of calmed down. Like, there wasn't really much to worry about. You just had to, chill out. It was like the United States was doing a live chill stream for 4 years, okay? Like, there's nothing really too crazy going on. But now, we're addicted to President Trump being in the news 24/7. And it's overwhelming. Okay, hi Eddie, thanks for joining us. And that affects me because it can feel like too much is coming at me. Okay? I'll just give you another example. Again, I'm not trying to be political. I'm just pointing out how things are communicated to us very fast and how much of it. And he's an easy person to talk about because he's in the news a lot. I once did a kind of a little statistical analysis of CNN, ABC, like their websites. And I found out that basically half on any given day, like if you look at the front page of their site, half the stories were either about him or implicitly, obviously related to him. And that's a lot to keep something on your mind all the time. So the pace of news has really changed. Now, I myself find the pace of news today exhausting. I cannot think in my lifetime any moment when there was as much news coming at us. And so I am trying now to retreat a little bit from that news and at least pretend like it's a chill moment, which is not easy. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. I think it has affected my the way I think about consuming news as well. Thanks to that guy, we had tariff scares at the start of the year and demolished White House at the end of it. I think what we're discovering, so I will always try to be very neutral. But this I could say in kind of a neutral but kind of joking way. I think what we're discovering is things that we thought are like cut in stone were just suggestions. It turns out the executive, that is the president, can do basically whatever he wants. If he wants a new East Wing, he could just make it happen. So that's whether you find that sad or funny, like it is, it is norm breaking, as they say. Let's see. Nothing is sacred anymore. Nothing is sacred anymore. I think, again, I'm going to try to get off the political thing. There's the combination of, one politician, we all know who I'm talking about, and social media, especially Twitter, X, is, it's one of the most potent combinations I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know what's going to happen next in 2028. We'll have a new president, and I don't know how we're going to change the way we think about how things work, right? Norm-breaking shock value. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so since we're talking about it, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he announced, or the day before, he announced a kind of Hunger Games competition called the Patriot Games, which is going to happen next year. Okay, I'm going to tell you one more thing, which is it's just funny to think about. Remember how this person is in the news all the time, right? 24/7. Okay, so I'm going to back up and just tell you something that's going to happen because you need to be prepared for it. Okay, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just want you to be mentally prepared for what you're going to see in the media. Next year is 2026. Okay, that is the 250th anniversary of the United States, which was formed in 1776. Okay, now that may just seem like a weird date for you. You may not really care, but you're going to because it's going to be pushed on you. Let me go backwards for 25 years and you'll understand. The 200th celebration of America was in 1976. And I was in the United States in 1986. I had just been there for, I don't know, a year or two. I cannot tell you, it's really hard to convey the vibe, okay? And the first thing to understand is it wasn't one day. The celebration was the entire year. I don't mean like there was an event planned every day. I'm talking about the vibe. The entire nation was just like it was a party mood. There were stars and stripes and flags and ribbons and banners everywhere. And everyone was excited for this, like a party that lasts the entire year. Okay, so you need to understand that. That was in 1976. Next year is 25 years from that, okay? So the 250th celebration. And what's going to happen is that same vibe is going to happen. On top of it, the current president is essentially having a series of events that kick off, I think July 4th, 2026, that go throughout, I think, the entire year, okay? So it's not only just one big party in general, there are tons of things, new things that are going to be in the news that are going to have the name of the executive. Notice how I'm saying the executive are in there. And so it's going to just hammer you, right? It's event after event after event. And the executive is going to be the MC, the master of ceremonies for every event. Like that's going to be this, with the executive, the star of the show is the executive, okay? So it's going to be a wild time. Now, it may be ridiculously fun. It may be controversial. I'm sure that, but you're going to hear about it. So 2026 may be a year where you want to figure out how to balance your time and how you're going to consume social media. Because the executive's name is going to be everywhere even more than this year. Okay, so I just want to prepare you for this fact. That's what I think is going to happen, honestly. Well, I should do a political show or something. Let's see. I feel like people aren't as excited. I wonder what went wrong. I don't know. Nothing's happened yet, so some of the excitement has not kicked in. I think it will kick in, Mir, once we get the number rolled over to 2026, right? But in terms of just changing years, yeah, I don't see it. In fact, I would say, this is my personal observation, my friend group, no one talks about the new year. Maybe it's because after the pandemic, we don't get together as often, which is true. Maybe it's because, people just moved away, but we just don't, I don't sense the same thing. To be completely honest, I don't sense the Christmas spirit either. That just could be my neighborhood, but even in where I live, which is in Redmond, Washington, by the way, or Bellevue, that area, in Seattle, the suburbs, uh, don't get the feeling. Just don't get the feeling, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's get back to. Pandemic did put a dent on social life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's see what else we got here. So hopefully this person will be helped. I'm going to save this one because I might need to read. It's a good. I've never seen someone ask this question before, so I want to make sure I capture it. Camilina, you like your day off work? Yeah. You know what's funny? I've been retired now for 18 months, and I don't know. I think I thought every day would feel like a vacation. It doesn't feel like a vacation. I mean, I don't feel stress in the same way. Not even the good kind of stress or the bad kind of stress. But yeah, I thought it would feel more like a vacation. It actually feels in some ways like work because I'm just very busy every day with drawing tablet stuff, of course. And no complaint. No complaint. Someone's talking about acute neck pain with Cintiqs. What posture works? I'll check in with this one later too. Again, I'm sorry if my voice seems very gravelly today. For some reason, I just woke up and it's not. I think you can hear it's kind of cracking a little bit. Don't worry about me, Mira. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Let's see. This is interesting. Wacom 1 got connected as mouse port. Okay, this sounds like a no signal problem. What? I'm just gonna tell them. Oh no, Wacom support contacted them. So that's about the best I would suggest for this person. So hopefully they get it solved. Hey, Camilina, thank you so much. Always appreciate the comment. By the way, I think I'm going to launch my new channel. Oh, I got a name for the new channel, by the way. I can change it still, but the name of the channel is. I forgot it actually. Give me a second. It's I think it's Words, Data, and Design. Words, Data, and Design. Or I think that's something like that. I can find out actually, because I think on YouTube it's I can switch my account there. No, well, because it's about communication, right? Let's see. Do I have it? The switch accounts. Words, Data, and Design. Yeah. So there's nothing there, so I'm not going to bother going to the channel. But it's going to be focused on communication, right? Just communication using words, both written and spoken, and how to organize your thoughts, how to use data. And when I say data, I don't necessarily mean charts. I'm just talking about how to think about data and how to use data and practical tips. Nothing here is theoretical. It's all practical stuff you can use. Right? And design part is using things like typography and fonts, right? Typography and layout and color to help you get your point across, right? And my theory is this. I'm going to, it sounds like some engineering channel. Well, it's not, I mean, I think engineers it'll be useful for them. I think some of you might even enjoy it. But what I'm going to do in the channel is it'll be different in terms of content. Okay. So for example, I think I'm going to focus on shorter form content. I think I'll be on camera more in my recorded videos. Because with drawing tablets, I don't need to be on camera except on live stream. But with this, I think it'll help you if you see me talk, right? And, we talked about humor earlier. I mean, that's actually one of the topics I want to talk about. I have a list of like 100 topics. It's going to be a lot of anecdote sharing, like experiences at Microsoft and in the tech industry. Talk and data. I'm going to write that down because, again, the name is not closed. Okay. Talk and data. So let mere suggestions for channel name. Okay. But it's got to be something small and not taken, obviously. I was going to call it 7-bit words, but I thought that would be, which I do like that name, but I thought it was going to be a little confusing for people, honestly. So words, data, design. Words, data, design. And so I'll do live streams as well, right? And one of the things I want to do is actually show people how to make progressive improvements in their text. So I write a lot, you guys know that. But how to take a sentence that you wrote, which is, I don't know, maybe the right word would be inefficient, and make it tighter, and with using all sorts of techniques. And I'll just go through a bunch of examples, right? Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So, well, I needed a word. Mir is asking why design, because I think you have to think about this problem, the usage of that word, a little broadly in this case, Mir. I think the thing I'm trying to do is, I'm not a designer, right? So there are different kinds of designers as well. But also I believe that in my field, in what I do design things, okay? Now, the nature of that design is very different from what a strategic designer does, from what a graphic designer does, from what an industrial designer does. But what are the common elements, okay? And remember, my field is communication, okay? And so if you had to summarize what design is about, what would you say it's really about? Some people would say it's about problem solving. Now, maybe that's not the best definition, but it's one perspective about what design is. And so taking that approach of solving problems and constructing a system which is composed of words and data and layout is the totality of how we communicate, or this is what we can apply to how we communicate. So that's why I picked the word design, to sort of encapsulate that thing. In other words, just as much as you can think about carefully constructing an advertisement or a poster or a user experience or an interactive behavior with some UI, you can apply those same things to your communication. And this is my personal experience. I think a lot of people don't do that, or they don't have a lot of tools that they've been taught that they can use. I would say most of the time I see people, I read their writing or I absorb what they're telling me, whether it be the news or whatever, or at work, and I think they haven't spent the time to do the problem solving, which is I know it sounds really stupid to say this, but I'm writing an email that's going to go out to 1,000 people. And for me, that's nothing. I'm used to writing emails that go out to 5,000 people, right? Or more. And how would you deal with that problem? How would you construct do you even have a game plan for such a big email? And, you'd be surprised, but a lot of people, even in very big companies, don't. They just write what they feel they need to communicate, and that's it. And I think we can do better. So I know I'm ranting now, but that entire thing needs to be designed. That entire experience of communication has to be designed. So that's why I picked the word design for the name of the channel. Does that make sense, Mir? I see you made a comment. I think it's making a solution organized. That's absolutely, yeah, that captures the spirit of it very well, Mir. Absolutely. Okay, let's go back to this Reddit and see what else we have here. Oh, look at this. This person got a Intuos S tablet and pen, thinking the pen would work Intuos Pro S. It's not registering. Okay, so let's just see what people said. And we all know the answer here. Oh, I already replied to this. I thought it looked familiar. Let's take a look at... actually, I'll take a look at the mod queue. Three hours ago. Okay, let's help this person out. Let's approve this. Sometimes people get their... Reddit flags so many things as a problem. Canvas 13. Let me just give this guy my advice. No signal is probably the hardest... Is the most common hard problem people face with pen displays. And I made a document to help with that. And watch the videos linked on that page. They will be very useful. Very useful. Okay. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm just going to approve this. I don't know what Reddit flags all these things as. How to enable touchscreen for Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3. I bought my first display tablet. I've been struggling with how to turn on touchscreen. I would appreciate anyone willing to share a video of this being displayed. Okay, so you know what? I will try. Yeah, some people still are having problems with the buttons, Mir. But it's a very popular tablet, so I don't know if that's a super big issue or it's just normal, you know. But I think it is an issue with that device that some of the buttons have problems. I have not had that problem. And actually, it's not the buttons, it's mostly the dials that people have problems with. But yeah. I'm going to reply to this person saying, hey, I've got this tablet. I will try to set it up for touch with my M3 MacBook Pro this weekend. And let you know how it goes. Let's see. So let me copy this. I'll put it in my show notes to follow up. Getting some spam from somebody here. I don't mind if people post images on the drawing tablet, but some people just keep on putting these images. I think if you're going to put an image, just at least tell us which tablet you use. We don't have that many images. That's a problem right now. But people flag this as spam, rightly so. Let's see, no name painter. This could be a spam account. Okay, looks like they actually do things. So even though they didn't name the tablet, I'm going to approve and say, which tablet did you use? Now let's take a look at the removed. This person is wanting to get... I think the question is, are you talking about the Canvas Pro Gen 3 for a new tablet? Or something else? That will help if we know sort of which one they're talking about. I don't know why this was removed, so... So I am the mod of RStylus, but I'm sort of just I observe more every now and then. I approve a post. People, okay, so it looks like this is something that should be approved. Okay, I think probably I'll wrap this stream up now. The weren't too many people coming in with questions, a couple at the beginning. Again, I will almost certainly do a stream tomorrow for people who need to buy a tablet, and we'll take a look and see if we can help more people. And I'll keep an eye out on Reddit. This next week is going to be crazy. First is going to be people buying tablets, and then the next week will be crazy also, from December 25th to like the first 2 weeks of January, because that's when people are having problems with the tablets. So I think one thing is I will take Mir's advice and maybe make some very short videos. Cami, Luna, Mir, everyone else, Eddie, thanks so much for stopping by. This was nice just to talk. You know, we talked probably only half about tablets, half about the executive and half about communication. So that was actually kind of a nice change of pace for me. Everyone, it's great having you in the live streams with me. Have a great day, and I will be back streaming soon. See ya.